Welcome back to the channel, Gray Beard Garage. My name is Matt. Today we're working on our tiny home, and as you can see here, it was previously wired for electrical to be done as a shop. What we're going to do today is actually lower all of this down to normal height, about 17 inches off the floor, and we'll put in our outlets. And then here we're putting in some bigger windows, so we'll get those put in as well. Not this trip, maybe, but maybe the next one. So we're going to go ahead and get our wiring done for our outlets. And we're going to have our electrical panel over here behind the door, and then we're going to wire up the rest of the cabin. Up here we've got some outlets already, but we're going to go ahead and take those out, and we're going to leave the wires up there because we're going to put in some no box LED little pancake lights, little 6-inch pancake lights. We'll put those up there. And so we're going to go ahead and get into this, and we'll kind of record as we go along. All right, so part of what we have to do for the wiring is remove these staples that were put in. So there was one there, there was one here, and then on down the line, and then there was staples, next to each box. So by code, your staples are supposed to be within 6 inches of your box, so we're going to try and maintain that as well. And you're also supposed to leave at least 6 inches out of your box for your roughing. So now we've got the staples removed from the boxes here. These wires are all loose. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull the wires out, and my goal is to reuse every single piece of this since wire is super expensive right now. And this is a 20 amp wire, so we want to make sure we can try and save as much because that stuff's getting expensive. And then the boxes, I'm going to pull those off the wall. And like I said, we're going to move those down here to where they're 17 inches off the ground. All right, so the wire's been pulled down the length. Now we're going to get these boxes out if we can without breaking them. That's the challenge. Okay, so this is the second attempt to try and pull the box off without breaking it. The first one did not go so well. So we'll see if we can make it happen on this one. This one seems to be working. Well, we salvaged one, so we're going to keep going down the line and see how many we can save. All right, so we're one and one loss, one win. So here comes number 3. Oh, this might be another win. All right, there's 2. All right, so box number 4. Let's see if we can make that a winner. We went 3 for 4 on that wall. So when these sheds were built, they put in these lateral supports to keep the sheds from waving back and forth like this. But we're going to have to remove a section of the lateral support. They're basically just there for shipping purposes. And since now we're going to start building on the inside, we're going to start taking some of these down as we need to gain access for other things. So we're going to take this down, and our main panel box is going to go here. So we need to get this out of the way. All right, so what we're going to work on now is getting this Square D 100 amp 24 space main breaker panel put up, and that's going to go back over here behind the door. So we're going to go ahead and get that started now. So when you install the panels, there's a few knockouts you got to hit to mount it to the wall, which is that one there and this one down here, and that'll mount it to the stud. And then we'll show you getting that wired up, and we'll punch these out real quick. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take this screwdriver, put it on top of that punch, and just give it a tap or two. So see, that pushes this tab out. You just take that and pull it right off. And we're gonna do the same thing with this one over here. All right, so this is where we're gonna be hanging the breaker. And so I've just got the screws just set in there to hold it in place, and now we're just gonna run those in. Our box installed. All right, so now we're gonna start putting in our new boxes. They're gonna be 17 inches from the floor to the bottom of the box, and these boxes have little tabs on the side here, and what they do is they set your box the correct depth for drywall. So we're gonna go ahead and get this nailed in, and then we'll run them down the line, and we'll show you how that all works. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and drill some holes to run the wire through. We have to come in low through here, about 5.5 inches up from the bottom of the stud, or top of the stud, because we're putting in windows here. So we gotta come in low, and we can't have any outlets here, so we're gonna put another one there that'll be back up to its regular height. So that's why we're so low here. I'm gonna go ahead and drill these through on down the line. Out one of these holes through here, and we're going to put in these snap locks and that hold our wire into place so it doesn't pull out. So we'll just go ahead and knock this out. See how it pushes the tab up in here. So again, we just grab it, twist, and it pops right out. We take this, we set it right here. We call them beat the hell out of them in. Alright, so now that's in place, we can run our wire up into the panel box. Now we're going to insert a Romex up here. It's going to come up into the box. Just like this. I'm going to leave myself a little extra play. That way we have enough just in case we have to go around the top or around the sides and bottom. And we just lock that in place by screwing it down. Alright, that securely holds our wire. So from here, we're going to take this wire and we're just going to kind of put a bend in it. What we want to do is run it right down this stud. And by code, you're supposed to put a staple in within 6 inches of the box to hold it in place. I don't have my staples yet, but we're going to go ahead and just get all this dropped from here into the box. And then we'll just run our, for lack of a better term, like a daisy chain down the wall. So now that we've got the wire from the panel down to the box, I'm going to go ahead and leave ourselves no less than 6 inches, but I'm going to leave a little bit longer than that, just so that we have a little extra here. Okay, so here's our first run, running from the box down to our first outlet, and that's going to run from there. It'll run under the windows that'll be installed here, and it runs up into the next box, and then it runs over to here, what we're going to call the end of line, into a double gang, and that will be 2 outlets in that box, and that'll end that run. Then our next run is going to be on this side of the wall, but that will probably end up running from the box, and then we're going to try and go up this way over to here. So that'll be our next step. Okay, so this line here that comes in from the top of the box, that is going up the roof, and it goes over and down the front, and that's going to come down here next to the door, and that's where we're going to install 3 switches. One switch will be for our outside light. The other switch will power lights that we're going to have up in here, and then the third switch will run a fan. So I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole through the front, and that way we can put our pancake box out there for our light out front. And then we will run another run from the panel up over to this side, and we'll tie into this box here. And then we're going to run down here again. All right, so we got our first screw in. I just want to check it for level again before we move on to the next screw. Or out. All right, and that's level. So we'll run our last screw in here, and then we'll pull our wire through. And we have our wire through. Give ourselves a few extra inches of play here. All right, perfect. All right, guys, so I lost a little bit of footage from yesterday, so I just wanted to come back through here again and just show you what we did in here. So this is our main panel, and as you can see, we've bonded the neutral and ground together, and we have our neutral, and then our two hot legs, and then we have our breakers in. This is for our well, and then these are going to be for the outlets on the north side, the north-south side, and then this is going to run the light out front. And then we have our outlets down here, and they kind of go down the line. Now, I'm not an electrician by any means, so I just do the best I can. And so you can see we've got that in. So I'm going to take you outside and show you what we did outside as well. Although I think the evidence is covered up. But we'll take a look at that too. So there's our panel. All right, guys, so this is the outside of the shed and the so what we had to do is trench. We trenched from here, so that's where the panel is located, right here. So then we trenched from here, we trenched all the way out through here, and what we used is a subterranean number 2 wire. And you can see it's trenched all the way out to the pole. And then I have to tie into the pole out here. We'll go out here real quick. So you can see we trenched all the way through here to the pole. We left a little spot open here so I could get to the wire. Now this is the subterranean wire I was telling you about. And it's sheathed in a waterproof resistant sheathing, and that's going to come up into here, and that's what's going to power the shed. Back over here. All right, guys, so we'll go ahead and keep working, and then if we make any improvements, we'll give you a bird's eye view on that as well. So I just wanted to follow up again, because like I said, we didn't get some of the stuff from yesterday. But we got our light up, and so we're just getting ready to wire that in as well. I think it looks pretty cool.